I have a question. I want to know, my question today is, what or who do you believe in? What or who do you believe in? And the reason I ask that is because I guess last week, President Obama was sworn in for a second time. And during his speech, his inaugural speech, it was just about more government, more big government, more government. We're going to do this for you. We're going to give you this. We're going to take from this person to give it to you. More government, right? Really just a bigger government. And I noticed that the people were like, yeah, right on, waving the flag. Like, right on, we love you. We want more and more. More welfare, more of this, take from the rich to give to the poor, you know, blah, blah, blah. And the crowd were happy about it. There was no, well, I'm sure maybe somebody there was thinking, no, that's not right, but they were happy to hear that they were going to get more government, more support from the government. And on Friday night, this past Friday night, I saw a special that Sean Hannity did on Fox News there about, what was it called?
Boomtown, Washington.
Oh yeah, Boomtown, Washington, D.C. And the special was about, it was revealing that Washington, D.C. is becoming one of the most wealthy cities in the country. And they don't produce anything. You know, they don't produce nothing, anything, but yet it's becoming one of the most wealthiest cities in the country. They are building new buildings there. People are drinking fine wine. They don't drink this little cheap wine that we go and get. You know, like, you know how when we walk in the store and want to buy wine, we look for the cheapest one? If it's $10, that's too much for me. But they're drinking expensive wine, wearing fine clothes, driving fancy cars. There is a car company there. What's that sports car? Lamborghini, right? They have a shop set up there. They don't even have to advertise. They do no advertising. They're selling cars like hotcakes. And the rich are living wealthy and doing very well. They are not producing anything. Unlike Detroit, when it had the automobile industry there, they drew a lot of people to their town because they were producing something. So a lot of wealth came as a result of that. And they showed in the good old days, California, well, you know, when the gold rush happened, a lot of people came to California because they were producing something. And in Texas, they had cattle. A lot of people went to Texas because they were producing something. But in Washington, D.C., they are not producing anything, and they are doing better than you and I. We are struggling to save our homes from foreclosures. We're struggling trying to pay these high taxes, while in Washington, D.C., they're living high on the hog. And one of the things that they're doing, they have these people to come in and lobby them, the government does, and these people bring lots of money with them to get the government to do a favor for them, and in return, the government give them what they want, which is more money. And all of that money is coming from us, the taxpayers. And they are really just controlling us, and we don't realize how bad it is. And the bigger the government, the worse it is. It was such an enlightening report. I'm like, wow, I didn't know it was that bad.
What's that report?
I saw it on Hannity on Friday night. Yeah. And it showed how the people are suffering, and the people keep thinking that the government is somehow or another going to help us. What I also realized from that report, in all honesty, neither Republicans or Democrats care about the people. They keep spending, borrowing, and spending, but the money is going to them and their friends, and they're living high on the hog, and we poor people can barely make it. It was mind-blowing to me to see that. And I'm thinking, why is it that more people want more government than ever before in history? When I was growing up, there was no way. I don't remember people wanting government. You know, I remember during the Civil Rights Movement under Lyndon B. Johnson when it started to happen with Black Americans. But prior to that, we worked hard, we worked together, We had money, we had food, and we were free within ourselves, right? But it's not like that now. The government is taking over the lives of, I want to say, almost most Americans. It really, really are. And I realize that the reason that this is happening is because the people have faith in the government. You really think about it, you do believe in the government. And the government is never, ever, ever, ever going to solve any problems for you. If the government, if we the people became we the people, and we became independent and relied on God and family, the government would go out of business. It will absolutely go out of business. And the one thing that those people love in government is power and wealth more than anything else. They don't care about us. They really don't, and it doesn't matter the party. Once they are there, their egos expand, and they start using us for their own personal gain. They make all kind of promises. They don't mean a word of it. They absolutely don't mean a word of it. And the government is expanding, and we're getting poor, and we're suffering while they're living high on the hog on our dollars. And you have a lot of Christians and other people like that too. I remember when I was growing up, and I mentioned this before, even though the Jim Crow laws were against black folks and we couldn't live in certain places, there were black wealthy people. Black wealthy people. They had land, they had cattle, they had horses, they had farms. There were black colleges coming up all around the country. And today, most of those black colleges are suffering. They're almost going out of business because they are not getting the support from the people, and they're looking to the government to give them money. And it wasn't like that growing up. We just did not. We relied on ourselves, and we had families, and we had fathers and mothers and grandparents around that would help us get things done. We're falling away from that. We're like far away from it. I was looking at a report on BET this morning. Oh, let me tell you this. I'm not going to snort today. That's my first and only one. I just did it, yeah. That's what reminded me. So we're going to keep a count. I am not going to snort. You know, I was thinking, it's interesting how I do the kind of work I do. And my work requires me to be talking all the time on radio, TV, giving speeches and stuff. I can't speak well, and I snort. I'm thinking, what was God thinking about? What a bad example, huh? I can't do either one that well, but I'm here. But there's a report I saw this morning on BET. The question is, what is Obama going to do for us this time around? The black people. What is Obama going to do for us? We got to demand that Obama does something for us this time around. They said that we laid back last time and we were quiet. We didn't pressure him because, you know, we tried to get it back in there. We didn't want the white people to be mad, so we didn't pressure him. Now, that wasn't a snort, that's a cough. Now that this is his last term, what are we going to make him do for us? We need a black agenda. We need more programs for education. We need more programs for this and that. More programs for jobs. They said that too. They were like, blacks are 14%. 14% of blacks are unemployed today. What is Obama going to do for us this time? Isn't that amazing? I'm like, are you guys fools? Obama ain't going to do nothing for you. How can you think that way and think that you're intelligent? And then they went on to say, and they had these experts on the panel who was as dumb as the host, and they went on to say, last time around, the gays put pressure on Obama from the inside and from the outside. They got what they wanted. The Hispanics put pressure on Barack Obama last time, they got what they want. What are we going to do this time to put pressure on Barack Obama to get what we want? We need a black agenda. I could not believe that. And they were serious. They were not joking. They were absolutely serious about it. And I'm thinking, can't you look back over the last 50 years of black Americans relying on the government? I mean, even if you're educated with a degree, PhD, LSD, YMD, MSD, whatever, can't you look back with your mind or something and see that when black Americans turn themselves over to the government, nothing has gotten better. It's only getting worse. Why do you think Obama's going to make a difference? He's not going to make a difference. President Bush spent more money on entitlement programs than, prior to Obama than any other president. And things only got worse. But these people have hope in the government. And they really have hope in the government. Even if the government gave us some money, it ain't gonna last. It's just enough to keep us dependent on the government. And then when you try to get off government by getting a little job, and you try to wean yourself off, the government will say to you, you know what? You can't work if you get a welfare check. But can't I just work and get this check so I can let go of the welfare? No. So you either have to receive welfare or suffer until you can finally, get your job running for you. They don't want you free. I'm surprised at how dumb America is today. How you can't see what's right in front of you. That's false hope in the government. We can't believe in the government, folks. And I hope today that some of you can be honest here, that there's a little part of you who believes that the government can help you, even as a Republican or Democrat. Because I noticed that with Republicans, not all, they think if a bright Republican come along and sound good and make all the right promises, there is a feeling of hope in that Republican. I have to be honest with you, I saw it in the last election about myself. I had hope that, I personally had hope that Mitt Romney would win. So I'm thinking that's going to give us a chance to turn things around and make the country at least keep us afloat for a while until we can change things. And when he wasn't elected, I felt like a loss, like somebody died. And for 3 days, I went in mourning. And then on the third day, I washed my face and went my way. Yeah. And I realized even if Mitt Romney got in there and we, the people, didn't take over the government, it would be more the same. It would really be more the same. We got to become independent people and hire these people to work for us. And if they don't do the right thing, we need to fire them. We cannot put our hope in government or anything or anybody. It will let you down every time. That special was an eye-opener for me. I knew it was bad, but I had no idea how bad it was. And when I saw that inauguration the other day, and the president making all these promises, and the people saying, yes, hallelujah, I'm saying, I don't know how we're going to ever turn around. Will we ever turn around? I just don't see how. You got, especially young people. And then as a result of that, the government is now, did you ever imagine that one day we will have a serious debate about the Second Amendment? That in America, because of the faith in government, we can possibly lose our right to protect ourselves from the government. Because of the government is not, if we gave up every gun, the government will not protect you. You got to live in your own home. You got to be by yourself. The government is not going to come and save you from a criminal or from itself. But the people don't see that. I think people are so dumb when they say, well, I agree with the government a little bit. We just need hunting guns. There's nowhere in the Second Amendment where it says the Second Amendment is for you to have a gun and go hunting. But they fall in line with that. The wisdom of America is almost gone. There are a few out there who sees and understand what's going on, but for the most part, it's almost gone, folks. It really, really is, and I know why, too. We got to wake up, America. It's we the people. We have lost that idea of we the people. When people say it now, it just sounds cute. There's no power in it before like it was in the good old days. It's we the people, not we the government. Yeah, they're going to stop saying it's we the people. It's like, we the government. We need a black agenda. What are we going to do this time? One guy was saying, this time black people cannot stand back and be quiet. We got to fight on the inside and on the outside, like the gays and like the Hispanic. I'm like, are you like nuts? Look how black people are suffering now because of government. It's right in front of our eyes. We have not gotten better as a result of government, dependent on government. The country is not better as a result of big government. If we were getting better, it'd be a different story. We're not getting better. There's no proof that we're getting better. And everything that government touches, it turns to darkness. Everything. Absolutely everything. I can't think of one thing that the government is involved with and it's good. Can anybody here think of one thing?
Military.
No, they're destroying the military. He said military. They're destroying the military. Not one thing. I want to read you something because of time. This is in 1 John. I wrote. Isn't that amazing though? I'm trying to scare you guys and ladies back into God. It's 1 John chapter 2, 12 through 17. And I'm going to try to read this without my glasses and without snorting and without ebonics. That's a lot of pressure on me. Oh, I'm sweating already. Detachment from the world. I am writing to you, children, because your sins have been forgiven through his name. I'm writing to you, fathers, because you have come to know the one who has existed since the beginning. I'm writing to you, young people, because you have overcome the evil one. I am writing to you, children, because you have come to know the Father. I have written to you, parents, because you have come to know the one who has existed since the beginning. I have written to you, young people, because you are strong and God's word remains in you, and you have overcome the evil one. Do not, I'm putting an extra do nots. Do not love the world or what's in the world. If anyone does love the world, the love of the Father find no place in him. Because everything there is in the world, disordered bodily desires, disordered desires of the eyes, pride and passion, is not from the Father, but is from the world. And the world, with all its disordered desires, is passing away. But whoever does the will of God remains forever. And what I see is happening in my world, the love for the government is a love for the world. And because the people are loving the government and loving the world, they are becoming more corrupt, demoralized, hateful. Families are falling apart. That greater is he that's in us than he that's in the world is not happening. The desire to work and take care of yourself is fading away. Trust between one another is fading away. Trust between inter-family members fading away. Crime is coming to the forefront even more so because of the love of the world. And the government is the world, believe me. It gives us false promises that demoralizes us once we believe in the lie. We got to overcome that. We got to be in the world and not of it. We must detach from the world. And the way you do that is to get to know yourself. You got to know yourself. You got to go within and discover the kingdom of heaven on earth. and you will find yourself detaching from the world. Things that are so important to you is not as important anymore. You're willing to let go without even deciding or making decisions about letting go. You just find that you're not as interested in it, whatever it is, anymore. That's with friends and family members and material things and wealth. You're not attached to it anymore. And until that happens, I don't know how we're going to get most of Americans back to loving the Father, loving what's right more than anything else, because they're so spoiled. They are spoiled with just enough to keep them unconscious. They're never going to get rich. They're never going to be able to pay their bills. They're going to always rely on somebody else, but it's just enough to keep them in that mode. And more people are becoming that way. And somehow or another, we got to wake them up. We got to be that example. And the way we do it, we have to detach from the world too. And doing this, you can't do it of your own, yourself. Don't try to make yourself, I'm detached from the world. It doesn't happen that way. You have to go within and discover the kingdom of heaven within so that God can wake you up, and then it'll start happening. And you'll be amazed that you'll find yourself in situations and the people around you are going insane, but you're not reacting to it in the same way. And you'll be like, wow, look like I should be acting this way, but you won't, because you're becoming detached from the world. I recommend you get to know yourself. And don't fool yourself. Don't lie to yourself. Accept what is. It is what it is. Don't be mad about it, so that you can start to overcome the world. Other than that, when you drop your body, you're not going to where you think you're going. And the way you're living, you're passing that on to others as well, because that's the type of example you are. So you got to forgive and enter into the kingdom of heaven so that God can guide you the rest of the way. You can be fake about it if you want. It's not going to pay off for you. All right? I encourage you to pray. I encourage you to educate the people. If they get mad, forgive them, but tell them the truth and leave it alone. We got to save our country. Hi, I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Thank you so much for being with me. You can get involved by calling 800-411-2663, 800-411-BOND.